Hi, my name is Lotfin and this is episode 4 of the series of relationships. So in this episode I would like to talk about the importance of communication. Um, People often talk about communication at work, like, it's important to communicate. But then I've worked in a telecommunication company and communication internally was really bad. And even towards clients often was like, So it's something that we're not really taught from young age to do. We're actually taught not to communicate. We're taught to keep things to ourselves, to not express our emotions, not to cry, not to scream, not to say when we don't like something, because that person may get hurt, we may step on their toes if we say that we don't like something they did. We should maybe make a hint or just swallow and be nice so people like us. But that's bullshit, and that's why so many of us are suffering. Most of us are suffering because we do not get to express what we really feel. We do not get to say what comes up as thoughts or feelings mainly. And even when we start doing that, we don't really know how to do it. And then things go wrong. So for example, one thing is if somebody does something that has as a result that you feel uncomfortable, pain, bad in any way, then the first thing we want to do is say, hey, you did that thing. Because that's how we're taught, that you have to accuse somebody of what he did. Instead, if you would say, for example, hey, I really feel hurt, I really feel bad about this thing, then the chance is much bigger, 70, 80, 90%, that the person will be like, oh, but that was not my intention. And then a conversation starts. Like why the person did that and what was his intention. And often the intention was a positive thing, or he didn't know that this thing would hurt you, or didn't realize because he had a different perspective on things. And then you're not offended anymore by a person doing that because you understand like, okay, it was not about me. Of course, there was something about you, and that is when we go on a deeper level, a button got pushed. It means you have some pain inside, you have a wound, and that person by doing that thing or saying that thing pressed that wound. Like, oh, that hurts. It was already painful. Why did you push that painful spot? But often we're like, oh, why are you hurting me? But instead of saying, hey, why are you hurting me? We can like, why is this hurting? Because that person didn't get hurt when he did that or when he said that. So what do I have as wound inside me that makes me feel hurt? Doesn't mean that everything that's happening means you have a wound, but maybe there's something you didn't say out loud. Maybe you didn't express, maybe you didn't stand up for yourself, maybe you didn't share out loud what's important for you. For example, in jobs, often we start a job and like, oh, thank God I got a job. Okay, now I can pay all my debts about study, about my loans, home, car, whatever. And I think, hey, well, I'm gonna work in that company and I'm gonna give the best I have, and that's gonna make everyone happy, and in the end the client will have a great product, a great service. No, they're like, oh, thank God, he's gonna help me survive. But that is exactly how slaves were behaving. And we're living in a society where you're either the dominant or you're the slave. Even in relationships, often people are behaving like that. There's the dominant and there's the slave. There's the dominant and there's the submissive one. And that is not healthy. That is because we don't communicate. We got to these very crazy situations in life because we're not standing up for ourselves, we're not saying what's really important for ourselves. So friendships can be very much into one direction, one person being always the happy one, the other one like, but yeah, I don't want to lose that one because it's a popular person, I want to belong there, or actually I like the person, but I don't like what he's doing. In love relationships can be the same. I just heard about this lady who just spent I don't know how many weeks moving and working hard to move in together with her boyfriend, to end up having a guy who's completely paranoia and accusing her of sleeping around with other people and all kinds of crazy stuff because he's so insecure, and she's trying to get into her strength, and he's like, oh shit, uh, maybe she will realize that I'm not up to the task, so I need to keep her down, so I'm the strong one, and that's how I can feel better. Often people want to feel better by making other people feel worse, by being the one who's the winner, who's the best, not by let's be great together. You have all those team leaders who take the credit, or those managers, CEOs take the credit, take most of the credit for the results of the company, and they get huge bonuses. But if everyone in the company said, fuck you, and would stay home, the CEO would be CEO of nothing. And then of course either it's like, oh, the employees are really bad, they need to be all fired, or the CEO is horrible, is terrible. And the second one is important, but a good CEO on his own will not make a company good, and a bad CEO on his own will not make a company bad. It's everyone together. So a good team leader, good CEO, good manager gives credit to the team. That doesn't mean that he doesn't take any credit, that he says, hey, this was a team effort. We did this together. Or sometimes he just says, hey, it was that person in my team, or it was actually my team who did this. I wasn't even involved, and they just did a great job. They deserve to get the credit. And yes, you have these people who are saying this but don't mean it, because now it's modern, it's popular to, because then you're the cool manager who's giving credit to the team. They're the good ones, they're the good ones. No, generally, it's always a team effort, whatever you do, in every kind of relationship. Love relationship, friendships, partnerships, business partnerships, work relationships of any kind, even neighbors, even family members. It's always a collective effort. It's when people start to communicate and they know what the other wants, and when we start communicating more and more and more, the conflicts start to go away, because we can resolve them. We know what's happening. We start to realize what's happening within us, and what's happening between us, what's happening in the other person, and that's how you clean. And yes, some relationships may end when you start doing this, but other ones may have a bumpy period and then grow stronger because they grow pure. Because all that fake shit is gone. So take a moment to look at where you feel that whatever kind of relationship, or maybe all of them, should get your attention, deserve to get your attention. And just imagine, take a moment and imagine how it would be if you would be free to express yourself, and if the other would also be free to express him or herself. Just imagine how the relationship would be, how it would be at work, how it would be at home, how it would be with your friends. I'm sure you may say like, oh, but you have to go through that, but okay, and then after that, once you go through that difficult part, how would it be? Yes, exactly. It would be so much better. So take that moment.